All right, everybody, welcome to Manic Monday. This edition of Manic Monday will involve Statis Pro Baseball, a game I haven't played in quite a while, but that's the whole purpose of Manic Monday, is to play these games you don't get to play they don't play very often. Get away from the inside pitch, the Stratomatics and stuff like that you play all the time, so a little variety. And this game is opening day, 2002, Moneyball, Oakland A's, Texas Rangers against the Oakland A's. Mark Mulder on the mound for the A's, a left-hander. Chano Park, a right-hander for the Rangers. Chano Park's SR rating's a 19, so he is there. Mulder's a 16, he is there, and we'll be reducing those as they give up hits, walks, runs, so forth. The cards do have lefty-righty splits on them already, but everything else is pretty much going to be basic. I've got these fast action cards all shuffled and cut and ready to go. After 3 innings, we will flip them over and reshuffle to get the randomness going. There's your line score right here. Benches and bullpen and starting lineups are right there. So I think everything is in place as best as I can get it. 2002 Rangers and the A's. All right, so we are ready to go. No ballpark effects, obviously, on Statis Pro, so we just play it straight up, and we'll get this going. I'm not going to do a how-to because there's plenty of how-tos out there, and I want to get this video, moving along without too much complication. If there's something a little tricky, then I'll kind of explain it. But other than that, if it's just basic gameplay, I'm just going to roll as is. So Frank Catalanato is your batter. He is a left-handed normal batter against Mulder. So we see who gets the PB rating. Mulder's a 2.7 against either or, lefty or right. So if the PB number is 7 or less, Mulder's in control. 8 or higher, the batter is in control. This is an 8, so that means Catalanato is in control. And since Mulder's a lefty, we're in this column to the left-hand side. The number is a 72. That's an out. He's a left normal. So we flip to see what kind of out it is. Left normal says a ground ball to second, but there's an asterisk. So that means it's a possible error on Velarde. His error rating is a 2. So if we flip and the number is a 1 or a 2, like this has 4 to 10, if we get a 2 to 10 or 2 to whatever, then that would be an error. But otherwise, it will not be. That's a none, so there's no error. So the play is made. 4 to 3 ground out, and that's how we start. 4 to 3 for the out, 1 away. Catalanato is retired. That will bring up Carl Everett, switch hitting center fielder. That's a 10, so we're under Everett against the lefty. We're in this column. The next flip is a 51. 51 is a hit by pitch. So right here, Carl Everett on a 51 is hit by the pitch against the lefty. Against a righty, he would have struck out, but against the lefty, he is hit by the pitch. So that's going to take 1 number down on Mulder, and reaching base on the hit by pitch is Everett. So 1 away, runner is on. Everett's not a good base runner or base stealer, so he will stay put. Here's A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez. Flips a 7, so we're under Mulder. That's a 14, though. That's going to be a base hit to left field. So that means with the base hit to left field, the runner on first is going to have a hard time trying to advance to third. The risk is not really worth it. So we'll have first and second. That will bring Mulder down to a 14. But now runners are at first and second with only 1 out. And the Rangers threatening here in the top of the first. That'll bring up Juan Gonzalez. We get a 4, which is under Mulder. 86. 86 is an out. He's a right-handed normal hitter. Surprising he wouldn't be considered a power hitter, but he's considered a normal hitter here. Right normal. So we'll see what the out is on a right normal. It's a ground ball to third for everybody. But there is an asterisk. So we check for an error on Chavez. There is none. And we'll check and see what the result is. Runners on first and second. There are charts for all of these situations. So we go to runners on first and second. Men on first and second. And the result was a G5. G5, it says with the infield back, double play, batter and runner out at first. Run on second goes to thirds. Well, it doesn't matter. That's the third out of the inning. Those 2 outs, the double play makes the third out of the inning. Outs 2 and 3. So The side is now retired to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Rangers. They did leave 2 on base, but the double play cleans everything up for Mulder. And that's nothing doing for the Rangers here in the top of the first. Mulder did lose 2 on his SR rating, but other than that, he came away unscathed. And now we go to the bottom of the first. It is Chan-Ho Park. Make sure bringing that chart into play. I don't think that took away any of the focus. I think we're okay on that. All right. So Park against Giambi. That is a BD. So we go to the BD right now. Some people play you don't do the BD unless somebody's on base, but the rule book doesn't say that. The rule book just says if you get a BD, you go to the BD. It doesn't say anything about people on base, so I'm playing it by what the rule book says. So his BD rating right here, we go to this section right here, get a random number. If it falls within the BD rating, then we go with this result. If it does not, then we just redo the at-bat. So the next flip is 81, so it's out of range, so that means we just redo the at-bat like nothing happened. It's like ball 1 or foul ball or whatever, and we start over again. That's a 9, so we're going to Giambi. 55 against a right-hander. That's a walk. Jason Giambi has just walked. So he draws the walk off of Chan-Ho Park, which means Park is now an 18. He drops from a 19 to an 18. Giambi's at first. He's not a threat to steal. That'll bring up Randy Velarde. We get a 4, which is under Park. 53 against a right-hander for Park is a walk. So back-to-back walks. Chan-Ho Park, a little bit of control problems. He's now down to a 17. But the A's have runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first for Scott Hatteberg, the DH. That's an 8, so we're under Hatteberg. That's a 35. And that's a 3-run homer by Scott Hatteberg right there. Scott Hatteberg, that's a 35, and that is a 35. 33 to 35 is a 3-run home run for Scott Hatteberg. And the A's lead it 3-0. So for Park, the hit is 1, and then 1, 2, 3 on the runs drops him to a 13, but it's a 3-run home run for Scott Hatteberg. And Moneyball is rolling. 3-0 A's. Here in the bottom of the first, still nobody out. And here's Eric Chavez. The flip is a blank, so we go on to the next one. CD, so we're under clutch defense. So let's see who it's on. Clutch defensive check is on the center fielder. So we're checking the center fielder, and that is Carl Everett. And Carl Everett's clutch defensive rating is a 3. So we flip the card and go to the clutch defensive chart. So we'll bring that out, clutch defense for an outfielder. So we get a random number. That's an 84 and a 3. Outfielder 384 says no action occurs, resume normal play. So nothing happening there. Nothing to see here. We move on. Start the at-bat all over again. 8, we go to Chavez. 83, he is out. He's a left-handed power hitter, so he will be out. Just what kind of out is it? It's a pop to second. So Chavez pops to second for out number 1. And there's finally 1 out in the inning. Actually, it should have been Justice, not Chavez. My bad. I had this card stuck together. Justice was your batter, not Chavez. And so Justice would have made it out also. And left normal, I think, was that the same? Or was that... No, left normal. But I believe everybody had the same result, if I'm not mistaken. It's popped second either way, I do believe. So I don't think it mattered either way. All right, so fortunately it didn't mess anything up. Here's Park. 8, we're under Chavez this time for real. 37, that's a home run for Eric Chavez. Look at that, Eric Chavez. 37 is the last number of the home run, so that's going to knock Park down to an 11. Home run for Chavez, or Chavez, however you want to pronounce it. And it is now 4-0 Oakland. Here in the bottom of the first. Still only 1 out. Here's Tejada. Z, so we got a rare play possibly. That's a 56. We go to our Z table. 56 and the Z chart. 56 and the Z chart says fielding table. So we go to the fielding table. Draw another fast action card. We get a 71. Fielding table 71. Difficult fly to center field. If CD 1 to 3, ball falls for a double. If CD 4, ball is caught. Well, we've already seen that Carl Everett is a CD number 3. He's not a 4, he's a 3. So that means it's going to be a double. So a double for Miguel Tejada is Everett not able to get that, and that's going to drop Park down to a 10 all of a sudden, as he's getting beat around pretty good. Good thing the Rangers have a large bullpen. They may need it. Here is Terrence Long. 3 run to Park. 38 against a lefty is a strikeout. So a big strikeout there for Park. That is out number 2. 2 down for Ramon Hernandez. Runner still at second base. Park 10, we're under Hernandez. That's a 64, which is an out. Right normal. Ground ball in front of the plate to Rodriguez. There is an asterisk check for an error. There is no error. And the inning is finally over on a 2-3 ground out to end the inning. But the A's put 4 runs on the board. 3 of them come on a Hatterberg homer. And then 2 batters later, Eric Chavez comes through with a home run. So not money ball, but home run ball for the A's here in the first. And they take a 4-0 lead as we go to the second inning. So Mark Mulder now given a big lead to protect. Here's Palmeiro. That's a 6. We're under Mulder. 73, that is an out. He's a left-handed power hitter. Pops the catcher, 1 away. So Palmeiro is retired. And that will bring up Ivan Rodriguez. 6, we're under Mulder. 78, that's an out. He is a right-handed power hitter, which means it's a ground ball to first. We're checking the error chance on Pena. That's a none, so Pena makes the play. 2 down. And that'll bring up Gabe Kapler. 11, we're under Kapler. 73 against the lefty, that's an out. He's a right-handed normal hitter. That's a fly to right to end the inning. So just like that, 1, 2, 3 go the Rangers as Mark Mulder sets them down, and now all of a sudden here come the A's again looking for more runs. It'll be the number 9 hitter, Carlos Pena, stepping to the plate against Chan-Ho Park, who's trying to regroup from that rough first inning. 6 were under Pena because he's a 6 here against righties, but Pena's a lefty, so it's 2-5, and that 6 exceeds it. 18, that's a base hit to right field, and since it's off the batter card, we check for an error. There is no error, but it is a base hit to right, so that drops Park down to a 9. So everybody's hitting the ball for the A's, it seems like. Base hit for Pena. And that'll bring up Jeremy Giambi. 8, we're under Giambi. 43, and that's a strikeout. So he strikes out Giambi for out number 1. 1 away, and that's going to bring up Randy Velarde. 3, we're under Park. 57 against a righty is a walk. So how about that? Velarde walks, and that'll put runners at first and second. Drop Park down to an 8. And now the bullpen for Texas might consider stirring here, as here comes Hatterberg, who homered his first time up. They got the ball rolling with that 3-run homer. Park has to settle in. 6, we're under Hatterberg. 37, and Hatterberg will walk. That'll be a walk for Hatterberg. That'll load the bases. Drop Park down to an 8. Hatterberg has walked. Back-to-back walks have loaded the bases for Dave Justice. 1 out. Infield is looking for the double play if they can get it. Park needs a strikeout. 5 are under Park. 25, and he does not get the strikeout. 25 is a base hit to right field. Base hit to right field for Justice. We know 1 run's going to score. That will be Pena. Velarde, let's see what kind of runner he is. Velarde runs, he's an OBR B, but his speed is only a D. So with 1 out, they're going to play station to station. But the hit and the run drops him down to a 5. It is now 5-0 Oakland, with Chavez coming up. And Texas is going to the bullpen. They can't afford to mess around anymore. They're down 5-0. So that's it for Chan-Ho Park. He just did not have it. So he will leave, and they will go to a left-hander out of the bullpen, Rich Rodriguez. So Rich Rodriguez is on. He is a relief rating of 5, but they need to get him out. They need him to get them out of the inning. So Rodriguez is going to come on. Park had a rough outing, just 1 1/3 innings, and he's given up 5 runs already and responsible for the 3 on base. Here's lefty against Eric Chavez. It's an 8, so we're under Chavez. That's a 24 against a lefty, and that's a grand salami right there. That was a mistake bringing in Rodriguez. A 24 is a grand salami for Eric Chavez. A grand slam home run. And now you can close the book on Park. He's given up 8 runs in an inning and a third. The A's lead it now by the score of 9-0. So for Rodriguez, he is now tired. He's 1 away from being tired, basically. Here is Tejada. They're trying to get him through the inning. Still only 1 out. That's a 9. We're under Tejada. 16, and that's a base hit. So Rodriguez is now officially tired, and he may not make it out of the inning either. They may have to pull him as well. And that hit was off the card there, so let's check for an error. There is no error. I want to make sure I did that right. Checking for an error. I might not be able to make it 3 innings with his stack. It might be worse than what we got right here. They're going to leave Rodriguez in to face Terrence Long. Now, he has hit fatigue, so we're going off Long's card. We don't need to check a PB. We're going straight off Long's card because he is fatigued. So he is actually past his fatigue level. So we're straight to Long. That's a 52 against a lefty. He is out. And left-handed normal. Pop to the catcher for out number 2. So Long is out of there for out number 2. Brings up Hernandez, and I think that's where they're going to go to the pen and bring a right-hander in for Rodriguez. His day is done. He didn't last too long. And that'll bring up, let's see, with 2 outs and a runner at first, they'll bring on Dan Miceli, or Michelli, however you want to pronounce it. His RR rating is an 8. So I'm sorry we couldn't get a closer game. This is very unusual for the Moneyball A's to score this many runs, particularly with home runs. There have been 3 home runs in the game, a 3-run homer, a solo shot, and a grand slam. So 9-0 A's. Here's Ramon Hernandez against Miceli, who's a 2-5. So the flip is a 6. We're under Hernandez. And that's 22 against a right-hander. That is a double to left field, and we're going to check for an error. There is no error. It's a double to left. The runner on first, in this case, is Tejada. But I think they'll be gracious and just go second and third and stop him there. No sense going overboard. And that'll bring up Pena. And that'll move Miceli down to a 7. Can't get that third out, unfortunately. 2, now it's under Miceli. 87, that will be the out, and it will be a left-handed power hitter, ground ball to second. Make sure Young doesn't boot it. He does not. The inning is finally over. Finally over. The A's crush them, 5 runs. It is now 9-0 after 2 innings of play. So, unfortunately, Manic Monday does not produce a close game. So, if you tune out, I don't blame you. It's 9-0. But if you want to see if there's any more carnage, then stick around. Mulder now facing Hank Blaylock to start the third. 7 is Mulder. 68 is an out. Left normal. It is going to be a ground ball to second. I'm sorry, ground ball to short. But we're checking for an error on Tejada. There is none, so that's 1 away. Tejada makes the play on Blaylock. And now that'll bring up Michael Young. 9, and that is going to be under Young. 12 is a base hit. We check for an error because it came off the batter card. And it is a base hit to left field, so there's no error on the left fielder, Giambi. But it is a base hit, and that will move Mulder down to a 13. So Young gets a 1-out single, and back to the top of the order for Catalanato. 4 under Mulder. 21 is going to be a base hit off of Mulder, so that's a base hit for Catalanato. Puts runners at first and second, and of course down by 9. They are playing station to station without a question. Drops Mulder to a 12, and here is Carl Everett. 12 under Everett. That's a 45 against the lefty. That is a strikeout. Would have been a walk. Actually, it would have been a strikeout either way. So it is a strikeout for out number 2. Everett is retired, and now it's up to A-Rod to try to bring home a run. 5 is Mulder. 64, and against a righty, that is going to be an out. And A-Rod's a right-handed power hitter. That is going to be a ground ball to short. Checking for an error on Tejada. 7-10, but Tejada's error rating is only a 2, so there's no error there. And that will end the inning. So Rangers get a couple of guys on, but make nothing happen. And we go to the bottom of the 3rd. And we may or may not get through this deck. Unless it's a 1-2-3 inning. It's about the only way we're going to do it. Maselli now to Pena. That's an 8, so we're under Pena. 77, it's going to be an out. He's a left-handed power hitter. And that's going to be a ground ball to second. Check for an error. There is none, so there's one away. 1 down. Brings up Jeremy Giambi. 12, we're under Giambi. 28. 28 is a home run for Jeremy Giambi, so that is gone. It is now 10-0 as Jeremy Giambi homers. Yet another homer for the A's. 10-0. Here is Velarde. 7, we're under Velarde. 26, and that's a double for Randy Velarde. And since it's off the batter card, we check for an error. It's a 2-10 for an error. It's a double to center. And let's see if Carl Everett makes the error. I think he will. Actually, his error rating is a 2, and that is a 2-10, so it will be an error. Now we got to figure out what kind of error it is, so we got to reshuffle the deck to get an error check and see what kind of error we're dealing with. We know it's a double for Velarde. The question is it an error? So we flip for the error, or what kind of error it is. We know it's an error. What kind of an error it is? Let's see here. Error on outfielder, it says error 4. So let's go to runner on second. Man on second and error 4 rating. Runner on, I'm sorry, the space is empty. Where's man on second? That's what I'm looking for, is man on second. There we go. Man on second. And an error 4. It says outfielder kicks ball, batter takes 1 extra base. So he'll actually get third on the error. So it's a double plus an error. That drops Maselli down to a 4. It is 10-0 with only 1 out. Runner at third. Infield is now in. Not that it really matters at this point. Maselli, 6, so we're under Hatteberg. 37, and that's a walk to Hatteberg. That does at least set up a double play. If nothing else, if you're looking for a silver lining, there it is. That brings up Justice against Maselli. 7, we're under Justice. 82, that's an out. Left normal. Left normal is a G3 1A with an asterisk. We'll check for an error. Make sure there's no error on the first baseman. 8-10, but the first baseman, Palmeiro, does not have an error rating that high. His error rating is a 2. So we'll make the play. But we got to figure out what this G3 1A is with runners on the corners. So first and third, G3 1A. All right. G3 1A. That's kind of interesting. G3A is here. I'm not sure about the 1A. That's kind of unusual. I'm not sure how to play this actually. It says G3 1A. So there's G3A. I don't know about the 1A, but it says G3A, so I'll go with that. Infield was back. Batter out at first. Runners advance. So the only play, they were looking for the double play, so they were back. But the run does score. It is now 11-0 A's. RBI ground out for Justice. Hope I did that right. I'm not sure. There are now 2 outs for Eric Chavez. But 2 runs are in to make it 11-0. Maselli, nothing there. Going to Chavez. 71, and that's going to be an out. Left-handed power hitter is going to ground to short. Checking the error on A-Rod. There is none. And finally, they get out of the inning. But 2 more runs come in for the A's, and they now lead it 11-0 after 3 innings of play. That's going to be it for Maselli. His day is done. They'll bring somebody else out to pitch the bottom of the 4th. So That's it for the A's. We go to the top of the fourth. Mulder, a huge 11-0 lead. It's just incredible. Let's see, Mulder, 8. We go to Rodriguez, and that's a 72. 72 is going to be an out, and it will be a pop to second. Checking for an error on a pop to second, and that's going to be a no error, so 1 away. Velarde makes the play. Here's Juan Gonzalez. 5, we're under Mulder. 18, that's a base hit for Juan Gonzalez. 1 out single drops Mulder to an 11. So Gonzalez is aboard. Here's Palmeiro. Clutch defense. And that's on the third baseman, Chavez. So Chavez's clutch defense is a 2. So he's a 2. We go to the clutch defensive table. Checking number 2 for third base. We get a 44. 44 clutch defense third base. Number 2. He is a 2. We got a 44. 44 says no action occurs, so we pick it back up with the normal programming. 9, we're under Palmeiro. 55 against a left-hander is an out. Against a right-hander, he would have walked, but against the lefty, he's an out. Left power hitter pops to first, 2 down. So 2 down, and that's going to bring up Ivan Rodriguez. Runner still at first and 2 outs. 8, we're under Ivan Rodriguez. 46 against a left-hander, he will walk. So that will put 2 on. Bring Mulder down to a 10. And that's going to bring up Gabe Kapler. 10, we're under Kapler. 68, though, is going to be an out. And he's going to pop to short to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Rangers. They put 2 on, but can't make anything happen. And we go to the bottom of the fourth. Still 11-0 Oakland. I strongly considered stopping this video and redoing the game, but I'm just going to play it as it is. And the Rangers need a new pitcher. So let's see who the sacrificial lamb will be. It will actually be Colby Lewis. He was a starting pitcher, but he was available to relieve in this game. So let's knock off the guys I've used. Rodriguez, Maselli, and Lewis have been used. So now we're ready to go against Miguel Tejada. Colby Lewis relief rating is a 9. So we start out with Tejada. 11, we're under Tejada. 17, that's a base hit to center. No error, but a base hit to center field for Tejada. And the hit parade continues. Lewis is now down to an 8. Brings up Terrence Long. 3, we're under Lewis. 33 against a lefty is a strikeout. So finally, something good for Texas to happen there is a strikeout, 1 away for Ramon Hernandez. 8, we're under Hernandez. 14, that's a base hit to right field. Checking for an error. No error on the right fielder. Right fielder is Gonzalez. His arm is a T5, so to run from first to third, you get an advantage, but that T5 kind of cuts into that. So with the score 11-0, they're just going to play station to station. No sense trying to risk anything. Here's Pena. 10, we're under Pena. 25, and that's going to be a strikeout for Pena. He will strike out for out number 2. He's got reverse splits. He does much better against lefty pitching, apparently. So 25 is a strikeout for out number 2. And that brings up Jeremy Giambi, top of the order. 8, we're under Giambi. 84, that's an out. Left-handed power hitter. Flies to right field to end the inning. So how about that? Colby Lewis pitches a shutout inning. First one of the game for the Rangers. And after 4 complete, it is still 11-0 Oakland. The only question of the game really is how many runs will Oakland score, and will Texas score at all? So Mulder facing Blaylock. 8, we're under Blaylock. 85, that's an out. And left-handed normal is a ground ball to the pitcher. Mulder, his error rating is a 0, so he cannot make an error. We don't even check for it because he's an E0. And there's 1 away. That will now send up Michael Young. clutch defense. Check is on the second baseman, Velarde. He is a clutch defense of 3. And that's a 14. So clutch defense 3 and a 14 says, great catch on shallow fly, runners hold. So now I don't know. It says here, everything on here talks about runners holding and whatnot, but the instructions don't say that there's got to be somebody on base, so it's kind of confusing on that. I always kind of got confused about that, so maybe we shouldn't have used CD with nobody on base, but at this point I don't care. We're going to use it anyway just to get the game over with. So Young is out on a nice play by Velarde, and there's one away. All right, here's Catalanato. 9, which is under Catalanato. That's an 18. That's going to be a double to center field. Checking for an error. There is none. But Catalanato hits a double. And that will move Mulder down to a 9. One out. Here's Everett. 7, we're under Mulder. 57 against a right-handed hitter. Switch hitter batting right is an out. He's a switch power hitter, which is a ground ball to third for everybody. Checking for an error. There is none. So on the G5, the runner has to hold. Out number 2. Everett is retired. And that brings up A-Rod. 7 is under Mulder. 21, that's going to be a base hit. And anytime you get a hit off the pitcher card, it's automatic 2-base advancement. So runner will score. So a hit and a run drops him to a 7. And the Rangers are finally on the board as A-Rod singles home a run. It's now 11-1. Mulder now. BD, there is a runner on base, so we will definitely use the BD. That's a 61 for Juan Gonzalez, but it's out of range, so we skip that and go straight to the regular at bat. 8, we're under Gonzalez. 82, though, he is out. Right normal. Will fly to center to end the inning. But the Rangers do at least get a run and get off to Schneid. It is now 11-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. 11-1. Velarde will step to the plate against Colby Lewis. 12, we're under Velarde. 63, he is barely out. 63 is the first number of the out range. And he will ground to third. Checking for the error on Blaylock. There is none. One away. So Velarde is out of there. Here's Hatteberg. 11, we're under Hatteberg. 15, that's a base hit to center. No error, but it is a base hit to center. Lewis will drop to a 6, and Hatteberg is aboard. So 1 out single for Hatteberg, and that brings up Justice. Lewis, 5, we're under Lewis. 46 against a lefty is a walk, so he walks Justice. Drops him to a 5, and now 2 are on with only 1 out. And that will flip it over to Chavez. 11 is Chavez. 23, and that against a right-hander is a double to center. Checking for an error. There is none, so station to station when you're up this much, it's now 12-1. So a hit and a run drops him to a 3. A run is in, and runners on second and third. Infield is in against Tejada. 4 is Lewis. 88, that's an out. Right-handed power. Grounds to third with the infield in. I believe the runners are going to have to hold. There is no error, but I will double-check it just on the chart. Second and third, G5. Let's go to second and third with the G5 and the infield in. Consult defensive option play on game board. All right, defensive option play on the game board. Where is the defensive option play? Well, it's up here on the top, and it says OBR. Let's see who the runner is on third. You know what? With 2 out, with the score what it is, they're just going to hold the runner. The infield is in. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to risk it. So 2 down. Tejada is out. And here's Ramon Hernandez. 6, we're under Lewis. No, I'm sorry, we're under Hernandez because he's a 2-5 against righties. So we're under Hernandez, actually. 28. That's a strikeout. Just missed it. 27 would have been a home run, but 28's a strikeout. So Hernandez strikes out to end the inning. They leave 2 on base. And 1 run scores. It is now 12-1. At least I think a run scored. I'm so out of it with this score being what it is, I almost forget who did what. But I think a run scored on that. At this point, does it really matter? We'll call it 12-1 and just live with it. Here's Palmeiro. 9, we're under Palmeiro. 61, that's going to be an out. And it's a G4, grounder to second. 5-10, but Velarde's error rating is only a 2, so there is no error. He will make the play, 1 away. Palmeiro is retired. And we will flip the cards, or shuffle the cards after this half inning. Rodriguez, BD. We'll go ahead and play it like it says. BD is a 16. That's going to be a double for Ivan Rodriguez. Like I said, the rulebook does not say you only do it with people on base. It does not say that. Although it kind of lends itself by saying runners hold all the time, but the rulebooks don't state that, so I'm going to go ahead and go with it. Like I said, at this point, it really doesn't matter in this particular game. Here's Kapler. 9 is Kapler. 26, and against a left-hander, 26 is a double to right field. Checking for an error. That'll be an RBI double. 1-10, so it is going to be an error on Justice. Let's see what kind of an error it is. It's an outfielder error 4 on a double, and we saw that once before where the runner takes third. So Mulder gives up a hit and a run. Drops him to a 4. It is now 12-2 with a runner on third and 1 out for Hank Blaylock. Infield back. They don't care about the run at this point. 2 is Mulder. 24 is going to be a base hit, so that will score another run to make it 12-3. Hank Blaylock gets the hit off Mulder. Now Mulder is just about at his fatigue rating. Here's Young. 8. We go to Young. 54 against a lefty. He will be out. Right normal. Right normal is a liner to third, and that is out number 2. So 2 down. And we go to Catalanado. See if we can finish the inning with Catalanado. 4 is Mulder. 34 is a strikeout, and we did. So Catalanado is out of there, but 2 runs come in for Texas to cut the lead to 12-3. 12-3 your ball game. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, and we will have to shuffle. Bottom of the 6th, and we will shuffle. 12-3, a massive blowout here. I think that's going to be all for Mulder because he's pretty much near the end of where he needs to be. So I believe Oakland will have the bullpen going. And we'll see who they want to bring in. Texas has switch righty and righty, so you're thinking right-handed hitter most likely. And I'm going to pause the video because Gracie, who had been quiet the whole time, is now looking like she might need to go outside. So I'm going to pause the video and be right back. Okay, that's been taken care of. We are back in the bottom of the 6th. Colby Lewis is going to try to get through this inning, and then they'll turn it over to somebody else in the 7th. But right now he's going to try to get through this 1 inning. He's got a 3 on his fatigue. First pitch is 11, so we go to Pena's card. 24, that's not good. Well, it would be normally not good, but for Pena, it's a strikeout. So, again, he has those kind of reverse splits. 24 would have been a double against a lefty, but that's just the way it worked out. So 1 away, and here is Jeremy Giambi. 9, we're under Giambi. 64, that's going to be against a right-hander. That's a walk. So Giambi will walk, brings Lewis down to a 2. And that will send up Randy Velarde. That's a 7, so we're under Velarde. 74, that's an out. He's a right normal. Right normal is a G4A, which means the runner advances, but we're checking for an error. 6-10, second baseman error rating on Young is only a 1, so there's no error there. So it's out number 2. Runner does advance, but now there are 2 outs. The advancing runner does not hurt Lewis's numbers. He stays the same. Here's Hatterberg. First base is open. Do you pitch to Hatterberg or do you pitch to Justice? They're going to pitch to Hatterberg. 35, and that was a bad mistake. A 2-run home run for Scott Hatterberg. And that's it for Colby Lewis. He is done. He is now tired. He cannot make it through the inning. He does not pass go, does not collect $200. A 2-run home run for Scott Hatterberg. And that makes the score now 14-3. 14-3 A's. It's a baseball game, not a football game, but they lead it 14-3. And now the Rangers will bring in a new pitcher. And just for the heck of it, they're going to bring in John Rocker. His R rating would be a 6. So John Rocker is on to face Justice, try to get this last out of the inning. 5, we're under Rocker. 11 is going to be a base hit, infield single. So an infield single, despite the lefty-lefty, because it's split cards, I'm not doing what's on the board. So that's going to be an infield single for Justice. And now that'll bring up Chavez. 7, we're under Chavez. 84 is going to be an out, and left-handed power is going to be a pop to first, and that's going to end the inning. So Rocker does get him out of the inning. And we go to the top of the 7th with the score. The Oakland A's 14 and the Texas Rangers 3. Now, we will get a new pitcher for the A's because they figured Mark Mulder's done enough. They got a huge lead. Why not give him the rest of the night off, or the day off, however you want to look at it. And they will go to Chad Bradford, the sidewinding right-hander. His relief rating is only a 4, but he's got 2.9 against lefties, 2.7 against righties. So they're actually more effective against lefties, which by the style of the way he throws, you think would be opposite of that, but that's the way he's rated. Carl Everett, switch hitter, will turn around and bat left-handed now. We got a 5, so we're under Bradford. 25, and that is a strikeout. So Bradford strikes out Carl Everett to start off the top of the 7th. Here's A-Rod. It's a 9, so against right-handers, we're under A-Rod. 64 against right-handers is a hit by pitch. So A-Rod gets plunked. Not very happy about it in a 14-3 game, getting plunked. They don't see why they're pitching inside, but that's just the way it is. Here's Juan Gonzalez. 6, we're under Bradford. 66, that's an out. Gonzalez right normal. Ground ball to first with an asterisk. We check Pena. There is no error. So with a runner on first and a G3, we'll see if it's a double play or not. Runner on first. G3 says OBR batter A or B is safe. Well, Gonzalez is an A, so he beats the relay. It's a fielder's choice, 3-6. He is the new runner now with 2 outs. So, but no double play. And here is Palmeiro against Bradford. 4 is Bradford. 85 is an out. Left-handed power hitter will line it to second, and that's the end of the inning. So nothing doing for the Rangers. They get a runner aboard, but that was it. We go to the 7th inning stretch here in Oakland with the score. The Moneyball A's crushing the Rangers by the score of 14-3. And after all this, we probably need to stretch and stand up and take a load off of this 14-3 game. Anybody still here, thank you very much. It's surprising that anybody would still be here on a score like this, but maybe you'd like to see the Rangers get pummeled. If that's the case, more power to you. All right, let's sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. All right, there we go. 7th inning stretch is in the books. We are now ready to go. John Rocker is back out. as he still can go another half inning perhaps. Tejada is your leadoff batter against Rocker. It's a 7, so against a right-hander, he's a 2-7, so Rocker controls 46, and he strikes out Tejada, out number 1. So Tejada out on strikes for out number 1. And that'll bring up Terrence Long, center fielder. 7 were under Long. 44 against the lefty, struck him out. So back-to-back strikeouts for Rocker. John Rocker strikes out the first 2 he faces in the bottom of the 7th. Hernandez, 3 run to Rocker. 74, that's an out. Right-handed normal is going to be a ground ball to short with an asterisk. And no error there, so good play by A-Rod. And the inning's over just that quickly. One of the few 3-up and 3-down innings for Texas. That's going to be it for Rocker. He's done. They'll bring somebody else in to pitch the 8th in this 14-3 game. Bradford will, let's see, what will Bradford do? Will they go to somebody else? They're going to go ahead and they got a big lead, so they're going to go ahead and get some guys some work. And they will bring in a left-hander. And it will be left-hander Mike Venafro. So Venafro is your lefty coming in. He's a 4. And he will be facing the top of the 8th, Palmero. Lefty on lefty. 2, so we're under Venafro. 34, and that is a walk. So Venafro has just walked Rafael Palmero to start the inning. That'll bring up Rodriguez. 7 were under Rodriguez. 23 against a left-hander. That's a double to left. Check the error chances. There is none. So all of a sudden, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. And Venafro having some issues. Now the Art Howell not happy about that. It's going to probably get the bullpen going again. As Jim Messire, a right-hander, is loosening. Infield is back, obviously. They need outs. So here is Venafro to Kapler. BD, and we'll check Kapler. 13. BD 13 is a double. A 2-run double for Gabe Kapler. And that's going to be it for Venafro. He can't get anybody out. He's done. And they will bring in Jeff Tam. So 2-run double, and it's all of a sudden it's a 14-5 game. Still nobody out. Runner at second. 14-5. Tam is your new pitcher. And he is a relief rating of 6. To face Hank Blaylock. As Kapler got that double to drive in 2 runs. So here's Tam. 10 is going to be off of Blaylock. 72 is an out, though, left normal. That is a ground ball to second with an asterisk, but no error on the play. With the ball hit to the right side, the runner will advance to 3rd. 1 away. And that will send us up to Michael Young. Infield course back. They don't care about the run at this point. It's 14-5, so they don't really care. 10, we're under Young. 67 is an out, right normal. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Tam has no error rating, so he will make the play. The question is, does a runner score? Let's check the chart. Runner on 3rd. Man on 3rd with a G1. Sometimes a pitcher is considered to be in, so we'll see. G1, infield back. Batter out, pitcher to 1st. Runner holds, but an OBR A on 3rd scores. And the runner on 3rd was Kapler. He's an OBR B, so he does not score. He does not score. So 2 down. Runner has to hold at 3rd base with 2 outs for Catalanato. 11 go to Catalanato. 81, he's out. Left normal. Ground ball to 2nd. Checking for an error. There is none, and that's going to end the inning. So 2 runs for Texas, but that's all they do get is the 2 runs. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. It is now 14-5. 14-5. New pitcher needed for Texas. And they will go to Mr. Todd Van Poppel. So Todd Van Poppel. So we had Venafro and we had Bradford and now Van Poppel. All right. And Tam is in the game. So, all right. So here we go. Van Poppel is a RR of 8. So 14-5 your score. Carlos Pena will lead it off. 8 is under Pena. 22 is going to be a strikeout. So Pena having a rough time. He's getting good numbers, but against right-handers, it doesn't help him any. Here's Giambi. Clutch defense. Center fielder, that's Everett. He's a clutch defense of 3. That's a 45, so I think that's a no play, if I'm not mistaken. It is. So nothing happening. We reboot and drive on. Van Poppel, 7, so we're under Giambi. 56, and that's going to be a walk to Giambi. So a lot of walks issued in this game. That's Moneyball for you, drawing those walks. But the home runs have definitely been a surprise. So here's Velarde. 2, we're under Van Poppel. 38, and that will be a strikeout, out number 2. And that brings up Hatterberg. He's had a couple of home runs in this game. Van Poppel, 8, we're under Hatterberg. 36, he's done it. Oh, he almost did it again. That was a strikeout. Almost hit his 3rd home run of the game, but 36 is a strikeout to end the inning. Wow, he just missed his 3rd home run. So that's going to do it for the A's in the 8th inning. We go to the 9th. It is 14-5. Last chance for the Rangers, and Tam is going to stay in there, facing Everett. Clutch defense again. Second baseman Velarde. 21, that might be something he can do here. Let's see. Again, I think you're supposed to have guys on base. I've already started doing it with the bases empty, so we're going to stay that way. CD3 for second baseman and a 2. And a 21 is a double play. If no run on first, the lead runner is on base, is thrown out, next base batter is safe. So I think on this one, it's telling me that you got to have guys on base. So I'm just going to skip that and move on to the next at bat or next play. I'm not going to count that. 4, probably should have been doing it that way at the beginning anyway. 41 is going to be against a switch hitter, is going to be a walk. And now Gracie's making some noise. Let me check on her. All right, so Everett walks Tam down to a 5. Here's A-Rod. 5 is under Tam. 22 is still going to be a base hit, though, and it's an automatic 2-base advancement when the hit comes off the pitcher card. So runners are at the corners with nobody out, and they might have to bring in a relief pitcher to get through this game. Here's Gonzalez, infield double play depth. 9 is Gonzalez. 13 is going to be a single to left field. No error on the play, but now runners are at first and second. A run is in. Tam is down to a 2, and we're going to the bullpen. All right, so Magnanti is now the new pitcher in the game. 11, we're under Palmeiro. 58 is going to be an out. Left-handed power, G6A, it means runners advance. There will be an out, though, unless there's an error, and there is none. So there is an out. Finally get 1 out. Runners are now at second and third. Okay, we're trying to get through this Manic game. This isn't like Manic Monday because it's a Manic game with all this scoring going on, and then all of a sudden Gracie was quiet for 8 innings, and in the 9th inning she decides to make noises. So we're going to try to get through this inning as best I can. Magnanti to Rodriguez. Infield is back. 1 run is already in, but they don't care about that because they need outs. Rodriguez, 87, is going to be an out. Right-handed power is going to be a deep fly to left. That's going to score the run on a sacrifice fly. Check for an error. There is no error. It's a 9 or a 10, but the left fielder in this case is Giambi. He's only a 2. So it is a sacrifice fly. It'll make the score now 14-7, just like a football score basically. So we drop Magnanti to a 5. And now that'll bring up Gabe Kapler with 2 outs as they try to end this ball game. 7 is under Kapler. 36 against a left-hander. Struck him out, and the ball game is mercifully over. Mercifully over. The Rangers get 2, they get a run here in the 9th. Make it 14. I'm sorry, they get 2 runs in the 9th. Not 1, but 2 runs in the 9th. Make it 14-7 is your final. And I'm not going to worry about totals or anything else. I just want to get this game over with because it's like the game that won't end. And I need to take care of Gracie and make sure she is doing okay. Manic Monday, that's Manic at its finest. You don't usually get these kind of wild games in Status Pro. This is just one of these things where the cards just fell that way. But if you're unfamiliar with Status Pro, this is not normal to get all these, this kind of a wild game. You usually get more of a traditional type game. So if you watch other Status Pro games, don't let this one taint your opinion of Status Pro. It is a good game. But this one the card just fell in a wild way, and that's the way it is. So I'm not worried about the totals. I just know the final score is 14-7. Mulder, the winner, and of course, the loser is the starting pitcher, Chan-Ho Park. 2 home runs in the game for Scott Hatteberg. He is the player of the game. So Moneyball has done it in a different way. They didn't do it small ball. They did it long ball. And 4 in the first, 5 in the second. Pretty much put it over with. And he added 2 in the third just for good measure. So 14-7 is your final. Manic Monday is in the books. And the next video will be on the NBC Game of the Week on Saturday. And we will be in 1973 back to the American League. And it will be the Kansas City Royals taking on the Minnesota Twins. And that'll be Bill Hands for the Twins, Paul Splittorff for the Royals. That's in Stratomatic Super Advanced 1973 NBC Game of the Week. So, despite the score and all this Manic stuff going on, I hope you enjoyed that presentation of Statis Pro on Manic Monday. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.